the Illuminati infrastructure is being decimated. Okay? Big hoo-ha. Now, moving on to more positive news. Gesara. I forgot to mention this topic in the last broadcast, so let's dive into Gesara. Gesara has been quietly implemented on the planet. I've been covering it extensively, and whenever there's major press releases, I announce it on this broadcast just to let you know that it's happening. And what the Galactic Federation wants to do is they don't want to do a hard reset from one financial system to the next financial system. Nothing in nature, when it comes to changing, nothing in nature makes it like a complete flip like that. Everything is done in slow progression. It's got to be slow, and it needs to be eased into the collective consciousness. So how it's being implemented is being transitioned into, letting people have the corona relief packages. This is the introduction to UBI, okay? Getting people used to getting the corona relief packages, and then eventually down the road when corona is no longer in the collective consciousness and now it's already over, then people now are used to already having that government assistance, government bonus money, extra money, that it'll become a permanent income, which is going to be transitioned to UBI. So Canada is hoping that this, corona emergency relief benefit is going to transition to a permanent UBI. South Africa has just announced that they're going to be implementing permanent UBI for its citizens from the ages of 18 to 59. In Australia, the bank CBA bank was down for a little bit, and then here's this woman sharing her conversation that her mortgage was wiped out. So that goes to show you it's being implemented regionally. What's happening is that in order for Gesara to have a global effect, it's actually being rolled out in like certain regions, small regions at a time, certain banks at a time. It's not going to be a whole mass. It's not a mass rollout, because if you do a mass rollout and turn off all the banks and cut off all the banks and do all this infrastructure change, it's too much chaos, too much confusion, and that's the last thing that the Alliance wants and the Galactic Federation wants. They want this to be as smooth and as easy as possible into transitioning into the new financial system. Okay, so that's why you're going to hear a certain region, their banks is going to be cut off for a week. Last year, I was telling you guys and preparing you guys for the bank closures to be 2 weeks, but it looks like they have got things pretty under control. So now the banks are only going to be closing for 1 week. Instead of 2 weeks, they're only going to be closing for 1 week. So 1 week without access to your monies in the bank is not a huge issue for most people. So that's why I said in my earlier broadcast just to take out a bunch of cash, have it aside, so if banks are going down for a week or two, you still have your cash and you can still buy your necessities with your cash. So Bank of America has already have given the heads up to their customers that by the end of July, they're going to go down for a week. So that way they're giving their customer the courtesy notice that, get your cash prepared, get things prepared for not having access to your funds. So that way people are prepared and have food and stuff stocked up in case when they don't have access to their funds, and pay all their bills and whatnot, and have those things done before the banks do their transition into the new financial system. So whenever you are hearing stories of banks going down for a week or certain countries are announcing UBI, let me know about it so that way I can broadcast the message and share it to the collective in my videos, okay? So that's it. So that's good news that it's happening. Just stay tuned. So that's really good news. I want to share you that information so that way you have more confidence, more trust that things are going to get transitioned over to the new quantum financial system, but it's going to be done in a very slow way, so we're being eased into the new quantum financial system. Okay? Now, moving on to the next talking point, mass arrests. I've just heard that, in Germany, they have arrested 30,000 pedophiles. A big bust was conducted in Germany, as well as in Italy. 50 people are under investigation for pedophilia, human trafficking. Leicester in the UK has been shut down for 2 weeks, which means they are, and there's a lot of military presence around that city, which means that they are doing an operation, a live operation. So when you're hearing news of a certain town or a certain city is on lockdown for 2 weeks or whatever amount of period of time for COVID-related situation, that's code word for the military coming in and cleaning up the darkness in that region. They are removing either pedophilia, human traffickers, drug warlords, corrupt politicians, corrupt police, judges. They're removing all the darkness in that area. Another city that is having a big operation is Melbourne, Australia. I was watching a Facebook video of them sharing to the people that, the people were on lockdown, they couldn't get food, they couldn't get necessity, and the people didn't know what was going on. They were all freaking out and panicking. And I knew immediately if this was happening and law enforcement is coming in and not allowing people to do these type of activities because they're doing a major operation. And I was right, they are doing a major operation over there. So if someone sent this text message that I got, they didn't send to me direct, but I got this in my Telegram group. This is an eyewitness report of what's happening in Melbourne. So this is what's happening. I couldn't see who, but there were big tents set up. I personally think they're getting pulled out at night because most of these kids have never seen daylight. I was there last night around 10 p.m. There were 10 fire trucks, ambulances, services, shitload of cops, SES, and a guy in Melbourne. Something about Melbourne tunnel system. Kids are getting pulled out of pedophile tunnels across Melbourne. Huge operation. I personally saw an infant transport vehicle, which I never knew existed in Flemington Commission Flats. So there you have it. That's a live eyewitness account of what's going on in Melbourne. I have here another article where there is a big bust of Port of Melbourne. Human trafficking evidence has been uncovered connected to some very big corporate names. So apparently Port of Melbourne is a big spot for trafficking humans. Surprise, surprise, right? A lot of these major ports around the globe are a big hub for human trafficking because human trafficking is one of their main sources of income, but also one of the main sources of food. These reptilians, these dark extraterrestrial, rely on us as their food source, as their sustenance, and as a way for them to get high. So continuing on the exposure of human trafficking, now it's getting to be trending on mainstream. Wayfair is a big operation for it's a corporation that is a front for human trafficking. Okay, the name Wayfair is actually itself self-explanatory for what it actually conducts as a business, because the word wave here is a noun. The definition of wave is a stray person or an animal, especially a homeless child, something found without an owner and especially by chance, or extremely thin or unusually young woman. Fare is the price charged for transport of a person. So you have there in the corporation's name that their real business is actually human trafficking. Here is also a commercial where they're actually letting the public know what they really do. I'm going to show you a clip of that commercial right now.
Joy, a source of inspiration, an act of kindness, a new beginning, some welcome relief, or a cause for celebration. What's inside? Possibilities. What we deliver by delivering.
Wayfair is a big corporation that was actually doing human trafficking as their real business, and is probably catering to the elite pedophile who know what it's really about, because they even have SKU codes set up for you to actually check what you're buying before you buy it. So here is a Twitter post where they're telling the people you can enter at any SRC